She asks me, what is my greatest achievement during lockdown? And I sit and think, wearing the only formal shirt that still fits, buttoned down to just above the waist because the fabric won't stretch any further. Now, did I say this fits? I lied. This is a job interview, everybody lies, and it's on Zoom. And this project won't happen anyway under the current circumstances, so what does it matter what I actually say? She asks me, what is my greatest achievement during lockdown? And I gather my thoughts. Jogging bottoms which have never jogged a day in their life, digging into my skin, thankfully outside of view of the computer screen. This interviewer is the only woman not related to me who was ever seen inside my bedroom. My teenage bedroom, in my parents' house, my angsty red and black sex dungeon without the sex. If these walls could talk, they would have nothing to say. I need this job. I cleaned for this job. I shaved for this job. Even if it doesn't happen, I need something to get me out of bed in the morning, something creative to keep me going. She asks me, what is my greatest achievement during lockdown? And I say honestly, my greatest achievement is exercising every day and still putting on weight. Question 2. When I was working away, and in a fix, I bought myself a pink toothbrush. Got home, put it in a pot by the sink, and my mother noticed and said, "You can't use a pink toothbrush. A pink is a girl's colour." Now, I love my mother more than anything else in the world, but her mentality is a bit 1950s. Blue is for boys and pink is for girls, and that's the way it's been for 100 years. Nurseries and baby clothes should be colour-coded accordingly. I know in the past she struggled with my rainbow flag pin badges, but I know she loves me, and has greeted all the ex-boyfriends of mine she has ever met with open arms. Even the ones she didn't like. Even the ones I didn't like. When we are born, those around us map out our love lives without second thought. Oh, would you look at him? What a smashing little guy. Give him a few years, he'll be making all the girls cry. And would you look at her? Such a precious little girl. Just you wait come Valentine's, they'll be queuing round the school to give her cards at break time. There's no malice in it. Parents just want what's best. They picture first dates, prom nights, engagements and grandkids, and can you blame them? In so many stories, it's boy meets girl, princess finds prince, living happily ever after, in heteronormative bliss. But I can never give you this. I'm writing poetry, not wedding vows. I can never give you the legacy I know you wanted deep down. But I will do whatever it takes to make you proud. Fatima retrained in cyber. Joined a small startup organisation named Skynet. Helped launch their flagship product, the T1000. And we all know how that turned out. Fatima retrained in cyber. Fought the Daleks in the Great Time War, faced the Doctor on Trenzalore, and we all know how that turned out. Fatima retrained in cyber. Landed her dream job working on Star Wars, pitched a character called Jar Jar Binks, And we all know how that turned out. Fatima retrained in cyber. After Star Wars, the job offers poured in. She landed a gig as lead artist in charge of CGI on the movie Cats. And we all know how that turned out. Fatima retrained in cyber. Got a job working IT in a call centre. Sometimes when she gets home, if she's not too tired, she'll put on some music and practice her old routines, knowing no one will ever get to see them. I've always had creative jobs, worked project to project, but at the end of last year I was finding it difficult. The stress, the aggro, the income, the egos, so I started looking for something new. Something more stable to make me more stable. Saw a job, 3 days a week working box office and events. Thought perfect. Got the interview, got the job, and started the end of March. The day lockdown happened. Clocked in 8:30, was sent home before lunch to twiddle my thumbs and wait for the inevitable announcement. And they kept me on. I am incredibly grateful they kept me on. Trained me up via Zoom, became the person who answered the phone when you called to make a booking. Oh, just 1 second. Hello, Dan speaking, how can I help? When we reopened, it was formal dress. And I had 2 shirts that fit. White and navy, worn on an alternating basis, hoping nobody notices. I'm pretty sure someone's noticed. Like, I'd notice. I would buy more, but I don't trust online sizes. And I'm honestly too afraid to go back into Primark. If good things come to those who wait, why does the phrase fast food not worry you? I've never understood how a Big Mac can cost 99 pence, but a salad will set you back £2.50. £3 in a meal deal if you're lucky and happen to be near a Boots. Subway is now officially more sugar than bread, so shouldn't it be classed as a cake shop instead? Takeaways line the streets. Takeaway, as in you can take this away, as in take this away from me please, I am trying to cut back. Oh, I'm vegan, by the way. It's been 10 minutes since I mentioned that. Vegan can mean healthy, but look at me. Everything I'm craving is bad for me, like curry, pizza and chips, flapjacks, donuts, twinks with big dicks. Why are my eyes always bigger than my stomach? In lockdown, my eating habits did not change. I just didn't move. And now nothing fits. I first noticed I had a problem with my weight when I realised I measure years in inches. At 16, I was 44. At 21, I was 32, too skinny but happy because at the time I thought skinny meant happy, and shamefully, a part of me still does. Stood in a mirror in drainpipe trousers and my friend said, "Don't lose any more, all right? That's enough." And I thought she was just jealous. Watched my weight fluctuate through relationships and breakups, gained 2 stone in 2016 gradually. The year of theatre jobs. Post-show pints, good friends, peanuts, cute barman and too many takeouts. A large veggie feast please mate, with extra olives, and a can of Dr. Pepper while I wait. Spent Sunday mornings hungover eating breakfast in Wetherspoons. Now that I mention it, I'm amazed people have forgiven Wetherspoons. Have you forgotten how they treated their staff? A friend posted online she was sat at table 9, asked people to send her drinks via the app. So I sent over a large portion of chips, arranged in the phrase, "Get out, you slag." I wanted to write, "Eat somewhere independent," but there wasn't enough room on the plate. For this next poem, there are 2 things you need to know. Firstly, it was written before coronavirus. Remember that? And secondly, the standing order is a Wetherspoons in Derby. Wetherspoons is not a safe space. The combination of Brexit and cheap beer, they want to leave, that's clear, and I want to leave the premises, but the more I try, the more times I keep being dragged back. It's like the students sat to my right, who no doubt share my ideologies but are blinded by the cheap prices. Meal and a pint for a £5, 2 pitchers for 12 quid, and they are down in drinks quicker than the pound can sink. It's like a working men's club. But of course, all the working men have been replaced by Polish immigrants, as some of the clientele seem to think. They sit regurgitating Sun headlines. I am surrounded by the right wing, surrounded by gammon ordering gammon, their faces the colour of salmon because they've been sipping since noon and now their masks are slipping. Their conversations are changing, becoming more heated, more animated, more anti-Remain. They bark like Napoleon sat in the farmer's house as they order more rashers of bacon on their full English breakfast. Full English. Full English. England for the English. Tory good, EU bad. Tory good, EU bad. Tory good, EU bad, Boris. The only clown more dangerous than Pennywise is idolised rather than despised. And I am dragged into the gutter like Georgie caught in the deadlights, because I would rather sit on my ass and tap an app than stand at a bar 2 metres away. Every contactless transaction fuels propaganda in the standing order. When I used to go for breakfast in pubs, I'd see old guys sat on their own reading the paper, refilling their refillable coffee cups or ordering a pint of Tetleys before 9 a.m. in the morning and think, poor sods, nothing better to do than drink. But the older I get, the more I understand it. Appreciate that pint before noon may be the only interaction they get. That chat with the landlord or nod from Phil at table 34 beats the 4 empty walls at home. The phone, a monument which just doesn't ring anymore. I've been thinking a lot about this since lockdown. Spent the first week in bed mourning lost work and lost opportunities. Then 3 months in, a woman rang into This Morning and thanked Holly and Phil for keeping her company. Said the time they spent on screen was the highlight of her day. Their programme kept her going, her voice trembling. I worry about the future. Worry about my parents sat in quiet front rooms with the TV turned off. Nothing to do until Holly and Phil come on. A new job is like being back in the closet. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is temporary, so I haven't disclosed my sexuality to anybody. I say partner, not boyfriend, avoiding questions like, do you live together? Because if I say no, I have to admit how hard this has been. yet having you around has made it so much easier. I'm happily taken. Long distance, but making it work. I live for that video phone ring. You don't know how much joy it brings me. We were lucky. We had 1.5 years under our belts before this started. Not long, granted, but I can't imagine dating in the current climate, starting from scratch. The closest we got to lockdown was discussing restraints after a few drinks. When we first got together, we played Scrabble. Other word games are available. You with your university degree, me just a dropout, happy this had lasted longer than 3 weeks. A new personal best. I thought the double word count stood for my initials, DW, and they changed depending on the player, but this was just coincidence. Like us, in the same place at the same time, that great gamer in the sky placed you and I side by side. And I make no apologies for my Valentine's Day card analogies. Oh, analogies. That's 9 letters, 60-word score. I struggle with the words I know you want me to say. But please understand, I like a long game. And this time, I'm playing for keeps. With you, I sleep like Superman. One arm under pillow raised, the other wrapped tightly round your waist. No kryptonite can penetrate this safe space, our mattress of solitude, defended by hook and eye, keeping the outside world at bay. Here, time stops. Clocks, meaningless. I stand on the scales every morning, hoping I might have lost about 5 or 6 pounds after one day of dieting, or a particularly big bowel movement would undo the damage I've done to myself during lockdown. My exercise bike stands gathering dust in the corner of my bedroom, becoming a fashion rail for clothes that no longer fit me. It's funny, when I talk about my wardrobe, the word fashion and clothes don't really go together. In March, I started riding the Tour de France virtually as a fun way to try and keep fit. In April, I was doing an hour a day, usually while watching RuPaul's Drag Race. You can gauge how much you've done by how much of the episode you have left, because every episode is surprisingly repetitive. They go catch up, intro, mini challenge, walkthrough, maxi challenge, runway, elimination, sometimes featuring a lip sync assassin, occasional twist, face crack of the century, goodbye, cry, lipstick on mirror, next time on, before the Netflix recommendations come on. If you like Drag Race, you might like AJ and the Queen. Hey, Netflix, word to the wise. No one liked AJ and the Queen. Not even RuPaul liked AJ and the Queen. Before long, my 1 hour a day became 1 hour every other day, and then 1 hour on special occasions or after a particularly big dinner. After weeks of being virtually stranded in Nice, I finally reached the 10th stage and stopped. I would tell you how far I got, but I can't pronounce it. Not even with Google Translate. There's a running joke that straight people walk slower than queer people. But like all jokes, there is some truth in this. Some straight people can stroll leisurely. They relax, because they didn't grow up having to watch their backs, concerned about verbal or physical attacks. Some queer people rush, because if they move quickly enough, they may go unnoticed. Those they pass might not realize they are different. Some straight people can hold hands and even kiss without that momentary flash of concern across their faces first, eyes darting side to side, checking their surroundings before expressing themselves. Not here. Straight people can book a holiday without Googling whether or not they'll be welcome in a country or arrested on arrival. We tell ourselves it's getting better, but in some places it's getting worse. In some places it hasn't changed at all. Open any Facebook comment section or any online message board and you'll find the aforementioned old school mentality. We're not the ones fighting with our fists. Yet you're punching down and we're just trying to live. In some instances, anything which isn't straight or white is automatically questioned why. What's wrong with it? What is its worth? And come to think of it, when is International Men's Day anyway? I know it's not everyone. But if you're part of the majority and not shouting from the inside, you're just as bad as the ones who silently step aside and let this continue to happen. Ask yourself, when was the last time you called out someone's bullshit? Or felt uncomfortable or offended but didn't dare mention it for fear of starting something, for fear of having an awkward conversation? We shouldn't be embarrassed or afraid to express our feelings, or to call out our peers for unacceptable language or behaviour, even when the response is, calm down, snowflake. It's all just bants, isn't it? Can't you take a joke? Some people don't listen, no matter how loud the cry. So here we are. Still running. It's like we've been to war. 4 months apart, and we meet face mask to face mask in a Northampton car park. Halfway. I have put on weight for the both of us. You, after a strict regime of Nintendo Switch, look as flawless as you always did. In your presence, I am lifted. We take each other's hands and plan, pick up where we left off as if nothing's happened. And if that's not true love, I don't know what is. At the Odeon, on Birmingham New Street, we are watching Frozen 2. A last-minute decision made on a hungover Sunday afternoon. I am with my boyfriend of 10 months. We sit at the back, hand in hand, laughing because we're the only adults there without children. And halfway through the film, it hits me. This might be it. That after hashtag give Elsa a girlfriend, Disney might have actually listened. Choking back tears, I imagine children looking up at the big screen, seeing their heroine end credit scene embraced with a member of the same sex. True love's kiss. A powerful message to all the boys in the Elsa dresses. To anyone who ever felt out of place as a child, a statement that no amount of placards in the playground can halt progress, that we are here and we are valid, whatever size or shape you are. When I saw the Love, Simon trailer in the cinema, I cried, struggled to explain to my best friend sat beside me how important it was. How 10 years ago, a film with a homosexual teenage male lead would not have been made in the mainstream. And if I'd seen that at 16, I might not have been so afraid of myself or how I was feeling. I choose to believe in my lifetime there will be a gay Disney princess. And it won't be done for effect. Won't be done to appeal to that elusive queer market. Won't be released in Pride Month to boost sales. It won't be alluded to or cut out in China like Star Wars. It'll be front and centre. And for the record, it should have been Elsa. It deserved to be Elsa. And here's how it should have happened. Spoilers for Frozen 2. Anna, the new Queen of Arendelle, sends a message to her sister in the north. Elsa, the fifth spirit, climbs upon her water horse, turns back and says, "Aren't you coming?" Honeymaran smiles, climbs aboard, slips her arms around Elsa's waist, and they set off into the sunset. And because this is Disney, they both live happily ever after. The end.